I was expecting the end of the world to be loud, and at first it was. People screaming, crying, calling out for help as the world crashed down around them. I didn't think I'd miss the noise when everything went quiet, but the quiet follows you everywhere. It weighs on you, traps you, because when everything else is silent, who knows what even the slightest noise might attract. After so much silence ringing in your ears, you almost start to miss the screaming.
But who? But who? And what is their intent? To demolish the gods and their sacrament? 70 sacrifices laid below to prove religion's overthrow. By the gods' providence, will they be catched with their dark deeds or by burning match? Welcome back to episode 2 of the Hellfire plot. Before we dig into this week's episode, let's do a little summary of what happened last week. We met our ragtag bunch of individuals, is the best word I could use to describe them, at various points in the morning in the city of Hearthome within the Cathedral District. There were things from hiding from the rain and talking to beggars who wanted a new set of lockpicks, to performing in the city square with your friend the dancer, to handing out pamphlets and filling people with the light. And old Zachariah just minding his old business, trying to find some food. You were all brought together in some way or another through happenstance, conversations, passing each other in the street, before you all realized that today was the day of the hunt, and you needed to find shelter before all hell broke loose tonight. Now, that wasn't the case. None of you sought shelter. You were all outside as the hunt began. One of you up close in particular, as you saw the horrible beast be unveiled in the cathedral square. A terrible beast full of barbs and teeth with sort of lupine features. It was huge in size and screaming out in pain and horror as it was unleashed and the hunters ushered it into the city to hunt. Zara followed it, intrigued by what this monster was. Seraphina had an up-close encounter with the beast. As it spied her, she sort of sought to encourage the hunters with her abilities as a skald. She survived, nonetheless, and the beast carried on further into the city. Lucius was about minding his own business, walking around, not a care in the world as the hunt happened around him. He had a couple of encounters with hunters who did not quite trust him. And after what was it, sending a large ogre to a labyrinthine destination for 2 minutes, and filling the beast full of light and exploding it, he made his way further into the city as the beast escaped over a rooftop. Zachariah bumped into Seraphina, and they both headed to a local tavern to see out the night. This is after Zachariah had cursed the hand of one of the hunters and run away as he dropped his hand, which was on fire, screaming. But as Seraphina and Zachariah heard from outside the screams of the beast and the call of the hunters, Seraphina began to wonder about where her sister Zara was that night, as Seraphina knows Zara is prone to getting into trouble at times, and so she headed out to find her erstwhile sister, and finding her indeed in this alleyway where she was in front of the beast, which was wounded and cowering, but ready to lash out. And lash out it did. We had a couple of rounds of combat, but we're going to go straight back into the action, and I believe that it was Zachariah's turn.
Oh, good. So Zachariah was still in the pub when this all kicked off, and Seraphina just sort of walked out. And he's sat there for a little while, like longer than you'd think polite, hearing all this kicking off in the alleyway and shouts and screams. And I think he'll pull his cloak up around him. Time for a little more fun again. And he's going to come out of the pub and take in the sights that's before him and spot this animal that he's obviously recognized from earlier on. And he's going to get straight involved, if that's okay.
Absolutely. So we'll say you need to use 1 AP for your movement to get there.
Okay. So don't know if this is going to use an AP, but we probably could say it is. The first thing that Zachariah is going to do is you'll see him kind of just unveil his cloak a little, and from his hip, he's going to pull a bullwhip and just let it drop. Keep the handle in his hand and just let the end of the bullwhip drop to the floor. And then in one fluid motion that's far too smooth for a man of his age, whip it out to this dog creature and lash it round its neck, holding it in place.
All right. So we'll call this the chokehold then, a perilous stunt. So you need to make an athletics test.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, I need my character. I need my monster. Where's my monster?
I mean,
You mean my
but I'm not that
puppy?
athletic.
The puppy. Yes, the puppy.
Yeah, well, the
The
puppy's
hell
getting
puppy.
choked. Maybe, if I roll it right. Right. So this is athletics.
And we'll make
Okay.
this a standard test. It would be more difficult, but this animal is clearly quite wounded and not as fast as it was.
Okay, so let's go. I'm looking for 39 or under.
Ooh.
That's a no.
Okay, so there's this crack of the whip, and we'll say like it lashes out towards the beast, and it sort of semi-wraps around its neck, but it doesn't quite get that full enclosure around and comes loose again as you pull your arm back, expecting some resistance to have held it, but it's not quite there.
I must blow off these cobwebs. And then, for what will now be my final AP, I will cast. But I'm casting Magic Missile, and I'm going to cast it directly at the beast. But because Zachariah is Zachariah, I have an attribute which basically means I can don't even need to roll. It's a guaranteed success. But
Okay.
it puts me one notch down the peril track.
Ooh, okay.
So it's basically sacrificing. I take it that takes me to imperiled, is the first notch down.
Oh,
as opposed to
does.
unhindered.
Yeah.
It sure does.
Cool. So he will make himself imperiled because he wants to hit this beast.
Okie dokie.
And I will cast Magic Missile straight at its face.
Okay, so with magic missile, is there any sort of resist or anything like that? Or is it just a...
Doesn't say. Any one person I can see. There's a critical success or a critical. So I assume I can't get critical success or a critical failure if I'm using my ultimate guaranteed hit.
Nope. All right, yeah, I guess it just hits then, because I actually think I used all the beast AP anyway, so I don't think, even if there was anything it could do.
So yeah, he's gonna
So smash
take
it.
a magic missile,
Do it.
and he suffers 1d10 plus. 1d10 plus my WB.
All right. Give me that damage. See how it does.
All right. Type it out. Oh god, if I could type, that would help.
Grim
You're
and
good,
Perilous just put into the chat, no resist. Mwahahahaha.
That's right. I've been around this too long.
Ooh.
So that's 8 plus 4, so that's 12.
12. Okay.
And I'd like to think
Alright.
like this is just something that just comes out of like Zachariah's hand. So like the whip comes back. He kind of just looks at the hand with the whip in, just almost like I'm pissed off with my own hand. And you'll just see him kind of conjure from his fingertips like this spark, like draw back into his arm. And then I fire it straight out, sort of palm towards the dog, the puppy. And it shoots like straight out from his fingertips, piercing its chest, or aiming to pierce its chest.
Okay, so you send out these darts of energy that just hit it right in its chest, and it sort of recoils, but it doesn't seem to have seriously super affected it. It hits it, and it does recoil, it does react in pain, but it's not enough to say, for example, move it down on the damage tracker.
Interesting.
But it fixes you with a glare, Zachariah. You see this eye just focus on you and the growl that builds in its chest.
Hello, puppy.
Okay, so that is all of your AP taken up for this turn, which will bring us to Zara. This puppy is mad, and people are hurting it.
And Zara is visibly kind of distressed, and she tried to interpose herself as that bullwhip had kind of come out to grapple onto the puppy, but hadn't moved quick enough, even with her hastened movement. And so she watches in horror as familiar darts cascade out of Zachariah's hand. She knows that magic. She does that magic. And she looks between them all. You need to stop. What? Do you know what this thing is? Zachariah? And so she's gonna move using her AP to attempt to get in front of the dog, between the group and the dog. Her sister's there around, we've got Lucius on, Zachariah's there. So that's kind of her first AP. For the second AP, after she's done kind of talking, she's gonna try and like remove that bullwhip from it. With extreme caution. Because the dog is really pissed. And I think the whole time she's using kind of like calming words and things on it. I'm not sure if there's a special action at all, or anything that I could give like my last AP to assist, or if you just want me to make some kind of roll and we'll see.
Because I don't know if there's any sort of special action or perilous stunt that would apply there, because you're not like inspiring the puppy, you're just trying to get it to not rip your face off as you're helping it. So I would say let's go with a charm test.
Okay.
As you're trying to like speak softly to the beast.
Let's use that. And I think she is like, she's looking it kind of calmly in the eyes, trying to project that thing, using her body as much as she can to block the others, although she knows she hasn't got long to get this creature free and away from them, and she's not sure if she should be freeing it, but she's gonna try it anyway. So charm is a 42. I get an additional +5 base chance because I don't have any skill ranks in it, and I have manifest destiny. So that is gonna bring me to a 47. Are there any additional hampers or?
I would say this is going to be a challenging test at -10 because there are others here engaged with violent acts against it. So it's, it's kind of not, you've not just walked up to a horse and you're not petting it. Like this thing's being attacked.
All right. So is that a -10?
That's -10.
All right. 37 is my goal. So 51. Fortune point.
Okay.
Sorry, team. 48. So close, and yet so far. Yeah. Okay, so that would be a fail for me. I've spent one of our fortune points, which you can see on the side of our display. They're the little gold coins. When they become red coins, that means that Susie can use them and use them against us. I just had something come in. I'm not sure what it was. I will take a look at it in a second.
A crit success from Radiator RPG for you, Charlie.
Oh, thank you
I
so
believe.
much. I would like to instantly burn that, please, Susie, if you will allow.
Okay. Okay. So we're using this on the soothing action
Yes.
to sort of like try and calm down the situation.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
My team are gonna kill me. I can feel it. It's
don't
gonna be
need to do
PvP real
anything.
soon.
I don't need to do a damn thing. I'll just sit back and let this happen. Okay, so you sort of very slowly, very carefully, very mindful of your hands and your body language, sort of turn to this beast and speak to it in soft tones, trying to de-escalate the situation if you possibly can. And as that's a crit success, you see as the beast is glaring at Zachariah and you hear that low grumble in its chest, it hears you and its head sort of twitches down to look at you, and that growl in its maw and its teeth, sort of its lips that are peeled back, seems to just sort of relax just a little bit as it looks at you, and it tilts its head a little.
Easy. I'm just gonna help you get away. And she'll try and remove that bullwhip from around it.
Just go ahead and roll me a awareness test.
Okay. Awareness. This is gonna be a 58 target for me.
Okay, this is just
and thank you so much,
standard.
Zweihander, for all of those gift subscriptions. Since we're not doing our giveaway today, what I would like to do is allow you to choose one of our players here, which does include the GM, to give a crit success or a crit fail to. So let us know, Zweihander, who you'd like to give that to. 39, that is a success, Susie.
39. Okay, so as this beast looks at you now and seems to regard you, and its face relaxes, there's something strange about its eyes. Something, I wouldn't say necessarily human about its eyes, but definitely not anything beast-like. There's something there that it's not like any dog or wolf or anything like that you've ever seen. There's something strange about those eyes.
And I think this is hitting her for the second time. When she first saw it in the square, she saw it then as well, but now it's becoming clearer to her. And so she's gonna pull that whip off. Is there any check or anything you want me to make to do the uncoil?
It wasn't sort of secured, so I can just say you can just do that.
So she casts
You
it
can just pull it
aside.
loose.
And she stands there, kind of back to the other three, transfixed on the beasts, and it's just, what are you? And that'll be the end of her turn. That's all my
Okay.
AP gone.
All right. So that will bring us back to the top of the round with Seraphina. You see now these people are attacking this beast, and your sister's like, "Hey, puppy!"
This is classic Zara. But seeing my sister get so close to it and trying to like calm it down and communicate with it, Seraphina's not going to try to attack it because she doesn't want to risk like injuring her sister. So I guess if there's anything she can do to aid in Zara's like just trying to communicate with it, or even just like putting herself in the way of like Zachariah and Leisha so they can't attack it while Zara's to like then anger it more while Zara's talking to it.
Okay, so there is a reaction of assist, which you can attempt assist an ally skill test. So if you'd like to just reserve, because it's a reaction. So if you want to just hold your AP until then, you can hold your turn. Not do anything, and spend that AP to assist Zara if you wish to. Or you could inspiring words as a special action that costs 1 AP. You could do that. It will add +1 damage and peril threshold. And you can do that to a number of allies equal to your FB if you successfully pass a leadership test.
Okay. I do also get a little bit more to inspiring words since I'm a scald. So yeah, maybe let's do that.
All right, so let's have this
Inspiring
leadership
words.
test.
All right. I need to get under 56.
All right, and we'll just call this a standard test, so no plus or minus. Oh,
I'm so inspiring.
you are so inspiring.
You're
So
inspired.
what does this
and you're
look
inspired.
like?
And you're inspired.
How does Seraphina inspire people?
At this moment, because she feels like her sister is in danger, it's less inspiring as it is like, you're doing what I say now. So she just sort of like turns on Zachariah and Lucius and is like, whatever is happening here, now our job is to help Zara do whatever it is she's doing. Zara, I've got your back. Whatever is happening here, I will help you do it. Like, I am here to keep you safe in this moment. So it's more of like I've got your back, and now these strangers do too because I command it.
Okay.
And then everyone also gets +1 to their damage and peril thresholds and +3 to their initiative.
Oh. Okay.
Could you put that in chat for me, Jess, just so we can have it for reference in the green room?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So that, if we apply that now, that's gonna basically bump the beast to the bottom of the initiative. So, so mechanically speaking, you are not compelled to do what Seraphina has said. She's just, as a role play, she's like, y'all are fucking doing what I say. Do not hurt my sister. But you're not mechanically compelled to do as she says so. Okay, so is there anything else you would like to do, Jess? Like move or anything like that?
I do want to move. I might already basically be between like the other two and Zara, but just like placing Seraphina definitely wants to like place herself in between the other two and her sister with her shield up, and then like bank those AP so she can take some sort of reaction if needed. But just sort of like station herself so that she can protect her sister from anything that might happen.
All right, yep, that's cool. Okay, so after that, will bring us to Lucius.
Lucius, what happened at the end of him being attacked? Is he like... Because like when we left off, if something happened to him because I was swiping into him?
Oh, that's right. Okay, so I can't. Did we resolve the damage? I don't think we did.
We ended on it. That was the cliffhanger.
Dang, we did. I'm so sorry. It has been a week. It has been a week.
Okay. Friends. I just want to know where he is.
Okay, so let me roll that damage. Let's see.
I had totally forgotten, but you were so right.
So, with that swipe at you, you take, that is, hang on. That is 10 damage. So that would be enough to, I think, bump you down at least 1 on your tracker. Let me just double check. I've got your sheet here. What is your damage threshold? It's not high, I don't think. Okay. All right, so you're bumped down 1 on your damage threshold to lightly wounded.
And how about because of that one power I have that makes me immune to bleeding, injuries, and perilous stunts? Does that affect this at all?
No, because it's not a debilitating wound or a death blow. It's just a hit on you. Once we start getting to the injury tables later on, that might come into play, but not just yet.
All right. So injuries is just like as a status effect, not actually just injuries.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So it's kind of like glancing blows or something, basically.
Yeah. This thing has it's taken like a little chunk out of you, but not enough to like be a significant effect on you. It's enough to like, oh, we're actually fighting and this is not going in my favor, but not enough to be like, oh, my arm's gone,
So Lucius is staying there because he had been trying to like ascertain what this creature was. And as it swipes down and the claws kind of rake across his face and his shoulder, he does one of those like very like no emotion thing and then looks back up and like the cuts, instead of having blood flicking, you see a little bit of light welling in it, like scratches, and then it seals back up. And then he like takes a step back and looks over at Seraphina. He's like, "This is a friend of yours?" not at all acting like it would be weird for this dog creature to be a friend of someone.
No, I don't know what this creature is, but this is my sister, and if she thinks that this creature is worth saving, then I'm gonna help her try to save it. And anyone attacking it now would only put her in danger, so don't put her in danger.
I'm all for saving everything for the light.
There's something about
Sure.
it, don't you see? And then back to focusing on the puppy.
I see
Oh boy.
something else that is infected by the world around us, yes. I would be happy to help cure this creature of its sickness. He's just talking for this turn, he's not attacking.
Okay, so he's just turned around. He's completely ignored this big thing that's just scratched him. He's just like,
well,
hey.
it's like, because then
Yeah,
she
yeah.
calmed it when talking to it, so it's not at all like still swinging.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's not a threat right
So
now.
yeah,
to
he
Lucius.
went
Yeah.
like that, kind of like that Agent Smith kind of weird, like emotionless
Yeah.
thing, and then like looked, just kept like conversationally talking.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that is Lucius's turn. And the beast has been knocked down to the bottom because everybody's initiative has gone up. So Zachariah, you're up next. Your whip has been pulled to the ground by Zara, who's kind of stood in front of it now, doing the whole, like, you know, Fey rated King Kong, like, oh, big beast.
Was beauty killed the beast. So Zachariah will have seen his missile basically just be ineffective, and then hear Seraphina's lovely little speech. A quick question about the +1 to peril.
Mm-hmm.
Where in the track does that +1 go?
It increases your threshold numbers.
Oh, okay.
So you see how it would be like 8 normally, it would go up to a 9.
Got you. Okay, so it's
So when you next become, you know, peril threatened, you can compare that to your improved number.
cool. In that case, he will. I'm going to be that guy. He'll look at Seraphina after her lovely little speech. Now, what was it you said in the pub? You don't want to be dear to me? And then he's immediately going to cast Feast of Crows. Or Feast of
Okay.
4 Crows.
Okay. So,
Oh, he's
so
going
just
to attempt to.
all right, let's get that incantation check. Go on.
Where's he gone? Incantation. So I've got 1 mark in my track, so that adds in my incantation track.
Yes,
That
so that
adds
adds
10?
10. It sure
Right,
does.
we're looking for 52. 52.
And don't forget, Jay, if you use the channel thing, it'll again give you an additional 10%. But you don't need it, so don't worry
You
about
don't
it.
need it.
So that's an 18. And I'll just double check exactly how this works. Now I see it just says swoop about. So I'll read this out because it's a wonderful spell. After successfully casting this spell, I conjure a flock of murderous crows that swoop about my enemies, dispersing only after tasting blood. All of those who are caught within the burst suffer 2d10s plus WB in damage.
So, Jay,
Yes.
wherein have you summoned this flock of murderous crows? Have you launched a bomb at the beast, or are you just fucking up this whole alley?
I'm dropping it above the beast, but as far as
Okay.
Zachariah is concerned, I guess it depends where everyone is positioned. But his only enemies now are the puppy and the girl who decided to try and tell me what to do.
Okay.
They're my
All
enemies.
right. So, you did say you're trying to drop it on the beast. Okay, so
Yes,
we'll
I'm gonna
go
attempt to drop it on
with
the
the
beast.
beast being the target. Is there any sort of resist or anything like that mentioned in the spells?
There is not.
Thingy-majig? All right.
Nope. No resist.
Okay. So, As
so
Zachariah
horrible.
speaks to you, Seraphina, you see from beneath his cloak, this dark cloak, just this flutter of raven black wings just come flying out as he points at the beast. And they sort of, this whole flock of crows just almost skim your face as they fly up past you towards this beast. So what damage is on that, Jay?
It's 2d10 plus my willpower bonus, so I'll roll the d10s. So that'll be 14 in total.
Very nice. Okay. All right, that is enough to move it down one on the tracker. So this flock of crows just descend upon the beast, and Zara, you're stood there calming it as you hear this caw and this squawk and flash of horrible beaks and talons just descend and start ripping and tearing at the beast. And it screams in pain, and it's using its huge arms to try and bat them away, but they duck around its big limbs and just peck and rip, and you can hear the ripping of flesh and you're spattered in little bits of blood as these horrible birds just get to work. So I need to roll 1d6.
I'm imagining Zara's hands have just come up and she's cowering from these birds as they descend in.
Birds are scary, you know. No wound, no injury, but it is down one on the tracker. Okay, and they disperse once they've tasted blood, right?
They do indeed, yeah.
Okay, so as quick as they came, Zara, they're gone as this thing is just ripped to shreds, and you can see like holes in its flesh. Okay, it is the beast's turn.
I've still, that was only, that was only
sorry.
2 AP for
That's right.
that spell. I think I've got one
Sorry
left.
about that, Jay.
That's all right. Do I be that guy?
Do it.
So, okay, now I think I've got enough AP. It's just for a simple melee attack.
Okay.
I think the casting of a spell counts as an attack action.
Oh, that'd be right.
Only
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, you can only take one attack action on a turn. So you can do a special feature, or you can use a movement, or you can save one for a dodge action.
Yeah, I'm going to save
parry.
one because I imagine there's going to be something coming back my way. So I'll bank that AP.
No, you don't say. Okay. Bear with me just a sec. I'm just going to check a thing. All right, now you're good. All right, so the beast is unhappy. Unsurprisingly, the beast is kind of pissed off. Okay, so Zara, you shielded your eyes as these crows have descended upon the beast, and it screams in pain, but you watch as it starts to climb the side of the alleyway, and it digs its claws into the masonry as it brings itself around the side of the alley. And Zachariah, you see this thing move closer to you, stuck on the side of the wall, and it is going to attempt to bite your face off because it's very upset that you sent all these crows towards it. So let's go. I'm going to use that token to re-roll that because that's a critical failure.
Is there a, just for the future, or maybe because I didn't do anything but talk, is there a way to hold an action reaction kind of thing in this game?
Yeah, you have reactions.
Okay.
So as a reaction, you can do such things as assist an ally, counter spell, dodge, make an opportunity attack. So if for example there's something on the ground and they start to get up, and then next to you, you can hit them for free. And you can parry if somebody hits you.
Or I could cast a spell on like an ally that would help them if they're getting attacked? Or no?
I
Like, if
don't
this beast
believe
jumped
so.
down on Zachariah, can I, like, step over and do the spell that pushes him through a doorway to somewhere safe? And he appears somewhere else.
Don't believe so, I'm
Okay.
afraid. Okay,
Only when it's
so
affecting you. Okay.
yeah, I think. Okay, so Jay, unfortunately that is a hit, but I need you. Have you got any AP left? You don't, because you used it all, right?
I kept
You
one.
used 2 to spell. Oh, you used 1. Okay, you can
So I
try to
will-
parry this if you like.
I will, because there's not much else to do with it, but Zachariah's not that agile.
Okay, so attempt. So you use a combat-based skill test, so as if you're hitting.
Okay. I assume I don't get any bonuses from. Would I? Because I've got one in my track for a simple melee. Would that give me the bump for a parry as a combat?
Yep,
Okay.
I would say so because you're using that to protect yourself.
We are looking for 46. Oh.
I mean, you can't. We've got the tokens. The tokens.
No.
Use it.
Anyway, I'm gonna take it. I'll take
He's gonna
the
take
damage.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a big
All
beast.
right. All right. Let me.
Welcome to Zweihander. It is grim and it is perilous.
Okay. So that is 8. Is that enough to get past your first damage threshold?
Let me have a look.
Probably would be right.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, I
Is it
think
enough
so.
to get
It's
past
not-
your second damage threshold?
So just to check, I've got the BB plus DTH modifier. It's
Mhm.
really low in mine for the first one.
Yep.
Let me fill in the others. So that's 9, 15. No, it's only enough to get past my first damage threshold.
Okay, so you are now considered lightly wounded, which you're not going to take any sort of injuries, but it's basically moving you down that damage tracker. So the next time you get hit, you will be moderately wounded, then seriously, and then grievously, and then dead.
Good. I mean, okay.
So this thing comes at you, Zachariah, and it just rakes its claws across your body, and it sucks. So that was a move. That was an attack. Think. Let's see what else we got, because you know I've got a big monster. I'm gonna use it. It's gonna. Oh, okay. So, as it rakes its claws across your body, Zachariah, you hear this sound. It sounds like retching coming from its stomach, and it vomits on you. And this is going to be a dirty trick to try and blind you. So let me see.
I approve of this idea.
It does not, but you get showered in puke regardless.
Ah.
Okay,
Hello,
you are.
puppy.
It misses your eyes, but it kind of gets in that claw mark it just put and it stings.
Oh.
Probably needs to get washed out as soon as you can. But that is the beast's turn, which will bring us back to the top of the round with Seraphina.
Okay. All right. So the beast has like moved a little bit farther away at this point, right? Because it's trying to get away, but stopped to
Yes.
attack Zachariah.
Yep.
I guess at this point, all I'd like to do is, almost try to like escort it out of this alleyway, like just try to like
Mhm.
shove Zachariah out of the way so that the beast can get away, and hope that the beast doesn't attack me while I do that.
Okay. So you're trying to just get Zachariah out of the way.
I think so, yeah.
Oof. What could we call this?
It'd be like a grapple or shove, like special trick right against Zachariah. I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say then,
or maybe
yeah.
some sort of movement, I guess. I can't remember what the move options are. If there's a
So should we call it a takedown? Instead of taking him down to the ground, you just push him back if you succeed. Or do it as a
works.
perilous stunt. Okay.
Alright, yeah.
So make me a coordination test.
Let's see. I need under 42.
Oh. Okay, Zachariah, I need you to make me a coordination test.
Okay. Check what mine is. It's not going to be good. Oh no. Under 32. I'm so old.
Oh.
Oh,
Not that old.
Okay. So Seraphina, you put a hand to Zachariah's vomit-covered big hole in its chest and push him back.
Oh, no.
But he
I do it
said-
with my shield. I'm not touching
with your
him.
You're not touching that. So you try and like push him back with your shield, but he stands firm. It's kind of surprising actually, because he's kind of got the visage of an old man, but he's pretty fucking ripped by what you felt.
Seraphina's very annoyed with Zachariah at this point because he looks human and he looks old, but Seraphina's an elf, so she is almost certainly older than him, and he keeps being very condescending. Let's see. So that was the takedown. Man. I guess, could I do the Litany of Hatred against someone on my own team? Like against another
Sure.
player?
I mean, it's against a target. It doesn't necessarily have to be an enemy.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna try Litany of Hatred.
Okay.
Intimidate. That is...
So a
I need to
litany
get below-
of hatred is an intimidate test. Standard difficulty, so no plus or minus.
Alright, so 51. Oh my goodness.
Oof.
The worst. I'm gonna use one of the tokens to reroll that.
yes.
I really want to intimidate Zachariah.
All right.
What did I ever do to you?
This is great. I haven't had
Tokens
to do
definitely
anything
meant
here.
for PvP.
Oh!
That's more like it.
All right. So, Jay, you don't even get a chance to resist this. You just hear this litany of swears and aggression from Seraphina. And so remember when she inspired you and everything went up by 1?
Yeah.
Take it all back down by 1.
Yay.
She's definitely cursing you out and telling you that she's probably older than you are and you need to like mind your damn business and stop being so condescending to people you don't know. You don't know my life, old man. Young man.
Okay, boomer.
Oh dear. So, is there anything else you would like to do, Seraphina?
When she moves Zachariah out of the way, she just wants to position herself so that the beast doesn't try to like attack her as it like goes by. Like make it clear that like I'm on your side here, beast.
Okay. All right. So, that will now bring us to Lucius. So Lucius, who knows what's happening in this alley, man? Like, the beast is peaceful, now it's mad, now it's puking, swearing. Okay, Boomer has just been dropped in this alleyway. It's a whole thing. What would you like to do?
So Lucius, at this point, the beast is kind of behind Lucius and to the right where those two are, and he's closer to Zara. So he kind of just like doesn't even turn, looks at Zara, and then kind of looks over his shoulder, looks back at Zara. He's like, I guess that is one path to the light. And he reaches behind him, like kind of that without looking anime, kind of like behind you cast thing, and like kind of like twist his hand. And as he does, like there's a circle of light in the air, and all those shards that were in the creature's back start to pull out, and you can hear like the hissing blood burning off of them as they come out. and then he twists his hand back, and they ram back down inside of it deeper. He's just casting the same spell again on it.
Okie dokie, so make me that incantation check.
I have Cult of Personality, which makes it happen automatically succeed the incantation test, but move one step down the peril condition.
Okie dokie, if you would like to do that then.
I mean, what does that actually mean? Like, because I'm pretty much unharmed at this point, so that's not a big deal, right?
So your peril tracker, if you move down that a certain way, so you go from unhindered to imperiled, and then you ignore one skill rank on the next one, ignore 2 skill ranks on the one after that. After that, ignore 3 skill ranks, and then after that, you are out. You're incapacitated.
And I'm currently on imperiled, or am I currently on unhindered?
I believe you're on imperiled because you've done it once before, right?
No,
So
I haven't
you would
done it before.
Oh, you haven't done it before.
I haven't done the automatic succeed thing.
Okay, so you would go down to imperiled, which means right now there's no mechanical negative for doing that. But if you do it again, you will ignore 1 skill rank on any test you make.
Okay, I'm just gonna do that for now. Use that thing just to make it automatically succeed.
Okie dokie, so that's 2d10 plus your WB, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go.
If the foe who is classified as an abyssal or as an occultist, it automatically sets them on fire.
Yep, I remember that. Okay, so I roll these 2d10 for you. So just for the audience at home, I'm rolling for Jordan because Fantasy Grounds won't work on his machine. So that is 15 plus your WB, which is 3. That's 18. So that is enough to shunt it down 1 to seriously wounded. And now I need to roll 2d6 to see if it gains a wound.
When he does that, like around his eyes, it's almost like, sometimes you see like people have like black veins growing, but instead of him, it's like the cracking of dry earth, but with light around his eyes as he does that.
Ooh, okay. This is so anime, Jordan. I'm so proud. Okay. So it does not take any injuries. Sorry, I keep calling them wounds. They're injuries. Does not take an injury.
Wow.
Because apparently I'm just very good at rolling for this thing, but it is moved down to the track, and it is very unhappy. You see that lick of flame as these light shards ignite, and it screams very loudly into the night as this happens. Is there anything else you would like to do?
That used up 2 AP, so I'm just kind of like not even facing it, but kind of like just paying attention with my hand still out, and so I have an action like and dodge if I need to.
Gotcha. All right. So that will now bring us to Zachariah. You're coming puke. You've been hit. You've just been sworn at a lot. The thing's now on fire.
And it's on seriously wounded, right?
It is serious. It's got a serious injury. Well, no, it doesn't have an injury, but it's down seriously wounded.
So now Zachariah's warmed up. And he's been puked on. He's been belittled by this other character again, which has just annoyed him even more. I'm very busy. I've got something I need to be doing. And I'm going to attempt to cast Dancing Arrows, which is a 3 AP spell straight at the beast.
Okay. So what does that do?
This could be, it's both terrifying and hilarious. I will just find it. It does a lot of damage if it hits, but it also makes the beast dance for about 10 minutes.
Is this like dance until you're dead? Is that what is about to happen to this poor beast?
Pretty much, yeah. After successfully casting the spell, select a number of my foes. Providing I can see my foes, they each suffer 3 d10s. In addition, if my foe fails to resist a coordination test, they drop whatever is in their hands just outside of easy reach. So it's all right. It's just 3 d10s of damage plus WB. That's all.
3 d10s.
Just 3 d10s. So yes.
The spells in Zweihander are possibly one of my favorite things about the system. And the critical fail in the spell are my definite favorite thing about the system.
Okay, so Jay, are we rolling an incantation test, or are you going to bump yourself down the peril tracker to make this happen?
I'm not going to bump. And I can't use channel because that takes an AP, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. So you just got to
so
do this.
I'm looking for 52 or below.
Ooh.
Oh, that'll do.
That'll do it. So, what does this look like as you cast this spell?
So, as opposed to the magic missile, which was just sort of one arm directly pointed out like that, you just see Zachariah sort of point his hands up to the sky, almost like draw, not lightning out of the sky, but he's just drawing energy from nowhere that comes back into his hands. And as he pushes them forward, an arrow fires out from the tip of each of his fingers and plunges into the beast's chest.
Ooh. So roll me that damage.
And there's like a weird, like a like when something bursts the sound barrier. There's like that crackle in the air just after he does it. So that will be not too bad. 15 plus, so 19 damage.
Plus a 19.
And it has to. Oh no, it's not holding anything. So I guess there's no point in it rolling a resist for the dancing.
Okay. All right.
Drops its.
It drops the beat.
Drops the mic. Just walks off.
It's gonna quit forever. All right, that bumped it down to grievously wounded. So I need to now roll to see if it takes an injury. All right.
Injury.
Nope, no injury.
God damn that beast.
But it's getting more and more hindered though the more we attack it, right?
Ooh.
Like its rolls are
Ooh,
garbage now because it's so far down the track.
It's not going too well for this thing right now. It is teetering on the edge. You can see it. Its breathing is labored.
You can incapacitate something without giving it an injury, right?
Yes, you can subdue something, which is a special action. Which is, you can use that instead of like an attack to subdue it, make sure that you're dealing non-lethal damage to it.
Also, yeah, without it getting an injury, it can be
killed.
Yeah, it can be knocked out, yeah.
I guess I keep thinking of other games where like injuries and stuff are like these little tracks you go down and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so this thing is looking really rough. It's not looking happy. Its breathing is labored. There's blood just pouring out of it everywhere. It's just a fountain of blood and puke and sadness. And its eyes, Zara, as it looks at you, are mournful. This strangely human eye is looking at you, pleading for help. What would you like to do?
I think she's just screaming various words. She's screaming why at Zachariah. She's screaming for the beast to go. She wants to know what it is, who it is, and she's just in this place where she's not really processing what's going on a great deal. There's just a lot of screaming going on, and she's trying to figure out how to help it. And she is going to... can I do this? I need to look up the haste spell real quick. I need to make sure I can do this. Because I know it requires the boot. But I don't know if it actually requires you to wear it, or if that's just me putting that in there. I should have been looking this up. I was too caught up in these heavy spells that are being thrown around and finding out what was going to happen. Let me see. Does anyone happen to know what page the grimoire starts on?
Not off the top of my head, unfortunately.
307.
Thank you, Jay.
Handbook.
Hasten speed. Okay, any one person you can touch. It requires a boot one on my feet. Oh, it's one on my feet, so it doesn't have to be on the person who's being hastened. Okay. As long as I got the boot, and I do have the boot on.
You got the boot on.
Alright, so I'm going to attempt to cast this. I'm going to use that channel to try and really help myself do this, which means I need to roll a chaos dice as well. So, let me get everything open. My incantation is a 54.
Okay.
Plus a 10% for the channel. Brings me up to a 64. And we don't want is it a 1 or a 6 we don't want on the chaos dice? I can never remember which way around it is.
6, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a 6. Wait,
6.
which one would you
It's
like to choose? 6.
6.
Alright, so 64 is the target.
It's a critical success!
It is! Let me roll the chaos dice, because I still gotta do that.
I mean, I have nothing invested in chaos winning.
Critical success. So, this is what happens to the beast, and then we'll worry about the next bit.
That was such a sound that came out of you then, Charlie. Holy
I'm
shit.
sorry. On a critical success, it does say person, Susie, so I guess you could rule whether or not this is going to work on this creature. But it increases their combat movement and their initiative by 3, and they gain an additional 1 AP per turn in combat because it's a critical success.
Ooh.
But I just...
You're casting that on us.
No. On the beast that I'm screaming at it to go.
He's giving it
And
to
I'm
Zachariah
screaming-
specifically.
I'm screaming at Zachariah to know why. I want to know what it is. I'm not going to actually scream because that would be unpleasant right now with mics and things, but that's kind of what's going on. She's very hoarse. She's panicked. She's freaking out. And then she unleashes this hasten. It's almost like glowing gold wings around the feet very briefly that come out of this dirty old boot that's on her foot. You notice her shoes don't match. It's very strange. And then something dark shifts as well as she utters the words. We need to roll on the chaos manifestation.
Okay, where is that? What page is that on?
I'm not sure. We've never had to roll it before.
No, we haven't. This is new.
Also,
Where did I put
something
it?
might manifest on you? Or
Yeah,
just
this
in
is the
general
one
around
where
us?
the abyss could swallow me up. This
It
is the bad table.
Fucking this.
It's the fun table. I'm so
Yes,
happy.
fun table. Is it at the back of the magic section?
It's 397.
Ooh,
so let's
right at the
find
back of the
that.
book.
397.
This is a cool thing when we play these systems that we don't know like intimately. It gets really exciting when something happens that hasn't happened before, and you get to
is
go
this
and
a
look it up.
generalist spell?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so do you want to roll the D100 or do you want me to roll?
I will roll the D100 because when you roll bad things happen, but when I roll bad things, I'm just gonna roll it. Okay. 18.
18.
We are rolling low tonight. Holy shit.
Get him out of the way before
Okay.
we actually need one.
So, Zara, the confusion, the anger, everything you've put into this spell, you funnel it out of your hands, and as you do, you feel a warmth on your face as your nose begins to bleed profusely. And for the next 3 hours, you have no sense of smell.
And she like wipes it with the back of her hand as she's looking between all these people in confusion and pain and mayhem. And then she turns back to the beast and she's like, "Go, please!" And I'll
Okay.
hold the last AP I have. Because,
Okie dokie.
well, actually, I guess I could be moving with it because I haven't actually moved. So yeah, she's running kind of almost after it, just waving those hands like, "Go!" That'll be all my AP.
Okay.
Because I think I have to be able to touch it, so I would have had to move to touch it.
So, yeah, you will have moved up to it. Okay, so it is the beast's turn. It has 4 AP.
Oh, fuck.
What could I do?
You could run away like a good little puppy.
Could do that. Could. Not gonna, but I could.
Classic spooks.
So, I am going to make an athletics test. I'm going to use that token to reroll that. Never mind. Zachariah, you feel this whiff of air as this big hand reaches out for you but misses. And then I'm gonna use just going to try and hit you, just with a normal melee attack, Zachariah. I'm not bullying you in particular or anything. It's just you're...
No, cool. Why would you? I haven't done anything. No, man.
Oh, that's 7. So, do you have any AP left? Nope, because you used it for
I
the
think
next
it depends, because Charlie, I think... Oh, sorry, Zara is the start of the round, I think. But we've started tonight with me because I hadn't gone when we finished the session. But I think initiative-wise,
I think it's on
Zara's
your
actually
turn, your AP refreshes, Jay.
Yes,
so,
so
when
on
it
your
comes
turn,
to your
you-
turn.
So it's not got back around to me then. So no.
So it's not come back around yet. Okay, so it's just gonna hit you.
Cool.
Oh, you jammy bugger! That was nearly a 6. Okay, so that's 10 points of damage.
That's not enough for my second track.
Okay, but it is enough to bump you down 1, right?
It is.
So you are now moderately wounded. I would like you to roll me 1d6, please.
Okay.
You're okay.
That's good, right?
That's good. You do not
Yay.
take an injury. Okay. So, but nonetheless, this creature just lashes out at you with a horrible, like, spiny arm. And I'm just going to take over narratively from here. So, technically, mechanically, rules as written, this shouldn't happen, but narratively, it's cool. Zachariah, as this arm hits you, you are lifted off your feet and blasted into the stone wall opposite the alley. And it begins to crumble behind you. The force of the hit was so hard that you sort of slammed through the wall, and the masonry behind you crashes and crumbles and begins to fall apart as the beast then starts sprinting off into the night. And you are stood there in the alley as Zachariah is covered in just debris from this wall.
Are we out of initiative?
You're out of initiative, yeah. Sorry.
I like how we were like in the
Yeah, you're all like, sorry, I just said.
I think
jaw
Zara
hanging.
like whips around and she stares at Zachariah. She kind of understands why Lucius was doing what Lucius was doing. Lucius was doing that the whole time. Do you know what that was? Why were you doing this?
It was a beast, wasn't it?
Didn't you see in its eyes that wasn't a beast?
You
Not-
don't
not
look
like
in
a
the eyes of
dog
the thing
or
you're trying to kill.
Bear?
It
It's
was an
called the
aberration,
hunt,
though.
dear.
Anything that's not the light is, of course, not allowed to continue.
An aberration is a corruption. What was it a corruption of?
The light.
It didn't
I
seem
have-
too bothered about striking out at you or your other little friend over there. I simply struck back.
It was defending itself. It was cornered in an alley. It was trapped in a cage and unleashed for hunters. What would you do?
Survive.
I merely allow the light to take its course. Obviously, the light has plans for it further down the road. It can't outrun the light. Darkness never can. Whether now or later, it will be part of the light.
And kind of at these words, Zara kind of grows alert and she's aware we aren't the only hunters in the city looking for this thing. And she kind of looks around the edge of this alleyway. She's going to open up her ears. She wipes away like another smear of blood as her nose is just cascading that way that noses do once they start.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants to see if she can hear or see any hunters going after the beast as it's fleeing.
Okay, roll me an awareness test.
Okay, let me see. Awareness is a 58 target. I have the wrong screen open as usual. By the way, we are at 18 retweets. We're not doing a dice giveaway today, but if we hit 20 retweets, I am going to say that we are going to do a wild magic surge today. decided special for today, we will use one of those deadly D10,000 rolls. And so Chaos Chorus, do your thing, hit those retweets, and we will give away a Wild Magic Surge. 13, so I succeed.
Nice. Okay, so you rush to the end of the alley and you move that blood, you wipe your lip, and you listen for the beast, you listen for the hunters, and it's suspiciously quiet around you at the minute. The tavern that Seraphina and Zachariah ran out of was literally just over the road. You expected at least maybe some people sticking their heads out, but it is silent.
And the Chaos Chorus have done it! We just hit 20 retweets. So, Susie, I'm going to say, as our Dark Mistress, you may decide who gets a Wild Magic Surge today.
Okay, I'm going to roll a d4. So 1, Charlie, 2, Jess, 3, Jordan, 4, Jay. It's you, Charlie. Congratulations.
Oh, yay! Alright, let me open up the thing. Can you roll the D10,000 for me and I will look up the result?
Yep.
D10,000.
Yep.
1,616.
1616. Okay. Caster suspects someone nearby is a mechanical automaton. Ooh, that's interesting. So Susie, you can work that into the narrative when you would like. But I suspect someone nearby is not human, but a machine.
I mean,
which kind of works pretty well in the city. We've got that clockmaker.
There's someone in this fucking alleyway who acts a bit like a robot. Just saying.
Okay.
That old man robot over there.
What?
So, what I imagine is she's listening and she's looking for these hunters. Did you say I could or I couldn't hear any? I've already forgotten. I got excited by watching episodes. I hear nothing. And then she feels like in the back of her head, like she hears like the ticking, that clockwork mechanism, and she looks around and she stares at Lucius. What are you?
A servant of the light. A humble one.
What is the light?
The light is all around us, seeking to banish the darkness that we live in. The light is what will fill us and take away the fear of the dark. The light is everything. It's behind everything. We only have to let it in.
And she looks again like Lucius is an entirely mad person.
A humble person who is being guided by the light. And in the
Who
end,
tells you these things?
The light.
Does the light speak to you?
Yes.
And she remembers
the light
reading.
is inside of all of us. We just have to recognize it.
She remembers reading this tome about golems, where they're these creatures that are made of various things and infused with magic, and that they have words put into them. And I think she now suspects Lucius is a golem.
Mm-hmm.
And Lucius is also like, I'm just a person just like you, and he like cuts his arm and it bleeds.
And she is very confused. Tonight has been very strange. And she looks to her sister. We need to make sure it's safe. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't deserve to be murdered.
I agree that it doesn't deserve whatever's happening here, but we can't just wander through the city looking for it on the night of the hunt. There's something strange going on.
You're muted.
Oh, you're muted.
Something strange is going on. I was in the clockmaker's shop. All of his clocks are out of sync. The world was meant to end and it hasn't ended. That thing, it wasn't a beast. I don't know what it was, but it's all connected.
I feel the light is guiding us all together. Nothing is outside of the plan.
And in a fit of frustrated rage that we've seen from Zara before when she couldn't read Zachariah's charts, she's going to charge at Zachariah to like push him up against an alley wall and she's demanding to know who he is.
Okay,
it's all about bullying the elderly.
I do not condone the opinions oppressed. Okay, so as you charge towards,
She's not doing it
Zachariah,
to hurt him. She's just mad.
I would still,
Just-
regardless, like you
that's
to make me a coordination test.
That's very bad. But just for like the contextual
Yeah.
of the scene, it's just clear that she's just angry and upset. Coordination is a 48. I have no points, so it goes up to a 53 as my target.
I would say actually this is challenging as there's a lot of debris now in this alleyway from where Zachariah was smashed through a wall.
And vomit.
Okay. So when I say 53, it goes down to 43. Oh wait, challenging? How many degrees is that?
So
Oh,
it's
it
just
doesn't matter. I rolled a
minus
16.
10. So you got a 16. You smashed it. Okay. So
Our
as
D100s are broken, but I'm not going to be mad about it.
So Zachariah is kind of pulling himself up out of this smashed wall. He's been smashed through into what appears to be like an abandoned, sort of almost warehouse, storage room. There's barrels and all sorts in here. Zara, you come stomping in, ready to like lift him up and ask him some questions. As you sort of step over some of the rubble, you hear a very distinctive like creak of the floorboards beneath you. You get the feeling that this is perhaps not super stable flooring, and you are quick enough and deft enough to sort of hop off of that particular floorboard as it snaps. And you see below you blackness, like a deep cellar beneath.
So she surged forward, grabbed onto Zachariah, and then heard that sound and like stepped back again. Who are you? You are not who you say you are.
I am Zachariah Tane. Exactly who I said I was. Dear.
Just a man
Just an
here for
old man
supplies.
surviving. Coming for supplies. All I wanted. And then we had a little clock reading and a little alleyway fight. Sounds like a normal day in this damn city.
You were part of it?
Oh, my dear, I couldn't less want to be a part of this if I tried. You seem very eager to keep things alive for someone who wished the world had ended.
You don't understand. Doesn't matter right now. And she takes a breath and tries to recenter herself, but then feels that curiosity kick in, the curiosity that caused her to chase the beast across the city in the first place. And she looks to that hole in the ground. I didn't know there were cellars here. And she peers down into the darkness and then up at
Alright.
Zachariah. Can she perceive anything down there?
Well, roll me that awareness test and we'll see.
Okay.
I think at this point, Zachariah will probably have stepped forward and having a look over the edge as well. Not that you need any help.
But go ahead and roll anyway, Jay. Let's see what you get.
Yeah,
where are
join
we?
me in my peering.
Is 47. I can't see. My eyes are so old.
You've got puke, you've got brick dust. It's all up in there.
I can't
It's your own
smell.
blood. Yeah, she can't
Yeah,
smell.
you're the
You're
best
a pet.
companion for Zachariah right
Right?
now.
But Zara, as you're peering down into this sort of cellar, you don't see anything, but you feel a cold breeze hit you. Now, if this was a normal cellar, there shouldn't be a breeze down there.
Do you feel that?
Feel what, dear?
There's a breeze. And she like stoops down closer and closes her eyes and kind of lets that breeze push against her, and then she sniffs and wipes some more blood away. Why did the beast end up in this alley? It was chased, but was it going somewhere? And she's doing that thing where she's thinking aloud, which Seraphina will know her sister does do quite a lot, especially when she's stressed or upset.
You seem to be someone who has an awful lot of questions and not a lot of answers.
Why do you think I study the stars? Look,
Yeah.
feel. And she grabs on to Zachariah's arm and just yanks so he can feel the air pushing up.
Mm-hmm.
There shouldn't be a
Well,
breeze from a cellar.
I'll put a hand out sort of into the void to see if I can feel the breeze on my hand.
Yeah, absolutely. You feel that breeze, and it's more like a wind that's blowing through here, as if there's maybe more to this cellar than meets the eye, as if it's connected rooms or passageways or something.
Serafina hears what's going on, and because she knows her sister, she's already pulled out her lantern and lit it and has started like following her down.
So Zachariah will turn to Zara. Yes, I feel it. Fancy a little bit of mischief.
Don't ask my sister questions like that.
Perhaps you would have the common courtesy to let your sister speak for herself. Zara?
Yeah, she's welcome to do that, but also don't be a creep in this like dark, creepy basement cellar.
I am what I am, dear. And he lays the mustard on with that dear really thick.
Zara
Yes,
kind of looks
no, tick-tock go the sands of
between
time.
Sarah and Zachariah, and then she looks to Lucius. There's like some accusation to her features. Why are you in the city? Don't tell me the light. Why specifically? Why now?
I know you don't want to hear it, but everything I do is guided by the light. This city, I feel, is on the crux of darkness and light, and it's going to teeter one way or the other. And I'm here to make sure it teeters towards the light, and that darkness and all the forces of chaos do not win. That is my whole goal in life, is to see that the light succeeds over the chaos. That humans, people, are bathed in the glorious light.
Then you can go
You can
down
call
first.
it whatever you want. Happily.
I think at this point, Zachariah, as if from nowhere, like a proper Mary Poppins it, from my trappings, just out of my cloak, I pull out a torch, and I just and light the top of it, as if from nothing, just light the top of it and hand it to Lucius. There's a little light for you on your journey.
And to
This
convince...
is a very small hole, right?
Yeah, this is like one floorboard that's broken, right? It's like
This
3
is kinda
inches
like
wide, maybe.
Calmly look around for if there's like a trap door or anything.
And to convince
Okay.
her sister, Zara just points out to Serafina, if the hunters catch us, they'll kill us. We've ruined their game. At least I hope we did.
They don't know it was us.
They may have ran into me earlier.
Cool. All right, yeah, let's see if we can get downstairs here.
All right. So I'm not gonna have you roll for this because it's an abandoned sort of room, and you have light. And it takes you a little while to find it, but hidden in towards like the back corner, underneath what appears to be like sacks of sand, like sandbags and like barrels and crates, which seem to be unused. You see what appears to be a trapdoor.
Lucius just like, without even like mentioning it, walks over and just pulls it open to see if he can descend down into it.
Yep, and it creaks very loudly as you pull it up. But you do see a wooden staircase leading into.
He kind of looks over at Zara and with an uncharacteristic kind of like a little bit of sarcasm, humor goes, light, darkness, and then goes down the ladder.
So you descend into the sort of cellar complex, and it's cramped-ish in here. It's like maybe 7 feet. So anyone here who's pretty tall is gonna have to hunch as they walk into this sort of dugout. And as you get down here, you see that it's not like a proper cellar. This isn't like a great storage area. This appears to be roughly dug out and hewn from this particular building. But there's a passageway that just leads straight forward. It is long and it is dark.
He kind of just like leans against the wall with the torch while he's waiting for everyone else to come down.
I think it's probably wide enough that 2 of you could stand abreast of each other, but it's pretty cramped.
I think Zara would follow. Knowing if she stays too long, Serafina will talk her out of it.
Mm-hmm. So Zara descends.
Serafina follows right after Zara.
Zachariah will pull out his own torch, because I still have a few more in my trappings, light it, walk down and close the trap door behind us.
Mm-hmm. And that creak closes, and it kind of echoes as you pull it shut, and there's that thud of the wood connecting to the stone as it's pulled tight behind you. And you are lit by the single torch ahead of you with Lucius.
Zara
descend further.
jumps as that trapdoor is finally kind of closed behind them. Her heart still pounding with adrenaline from the incident with the beast, and now staring into the darkness. I knew there weren't cellars here. This is new.
Lucius
This
kind of like
place
does that
floods every winter.
with the like torch thing where you like do like that to show like the light on all the walls and stuff. See if there's anything marking or anything in this first room.
No, I mean, all you can see are like the tool marks of the shovels and the picks that have been used to carve this out of the dirt and the stone. You can see every now and then, yeah, they're pretty fresh, and you can see shoring up. There's like bits of wooden slats used to shore up to make sure it doesn't collapse. Clearly some effort has gone into this.
He kind of gestures towards the tunnel with the torch, and he's like, "Shall we see what we can illuminate?"
And Zara looks to Serafina.
And Lucius shrugs and starts walking down the tunnel.
Yeah, we're in this now, and we're down here. I kind of want to know what the hell's going on.
So Serafina had a lantern too. We're lit from the back and the front, kind of.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes,
I do have a lantern
too. Okay, so excuse me. You walk further down this tunnel, and it seems to stretch forever and ever. And after what feels like an hour of walking, even though you know it hasn't been an hour, it's just in the darkness and nothing seems to be coming at you in the front. Feels like an eternity before you hit what appears to actually be a true cellar here. You've taken a few little twisty turns, nothing so drastic as a hard left or a hard right, but it has meandered a little as you've walked. But this one seems to be a real building, basement, cellar at least. There's nothing of note in here that you can see beyond a couple of barrels, a bit of storage. Nothing that would give away a true purpose, but you can see again, just dug out the other side, another passageway.
Susie.
Yes.
I don't have navigation, and it's a specialist skill, so I'm wondering if I could use some kind of knowledge or survival, maybe, because Zara is a child of the city and the streets, if she could maybe kind of try and guess what building we've come to based on how far we've walked. I imagine it's going to be difficult because she, this isn't her specialty.
Yeah, and you're going underground.
Tunnel underground. So there's no
you don't
landmarks
have
or anything.
landmarks. Okay, what could we use this? What skill could we call this? Yeah, let's go survival for this
Survival?
one. And we'll
Okay.
say that this is hard, so it's minus 20%.
Okay, so my goal would be 53. It goes down to 33. As it's difficult. So you see Zara kind of looking around, trying to figure out something.
And I have a rank in scrutinize, so I could also be looking to see if I see anything like that would say what this cellar is being used for, which would give a hint to what kind of building it is.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's go for that.
Is there barrels of blank? Is there... You can roll scrutinize.
Oh, yeah, I need to roll for this. Okay, so... that's a 94.
Cool.
So you look around trying to get a hint of what this building could be used for, and Zara, you're trying really hard to figure out where you are and where you could be beneath, but both of you can't really glean much from where you are. You're not entirely sure if you've doubled back on yourselves, if you're heading further out in the city, if you're leaving the cathedral district, or what, but you're coming up short.
Lucius kind of just like gestures to the ceiling where the door leaving the cellar is, and then over to the tunnel. I am content going where the light is leading all of you. I'm sure it'll be...
building this is?
I do not.
I've lost track down here in the dark.
It would seem the tunnel continues, though. It would be interesting to know who this building is, because they obviously know about this tunnel.
Would it be possible, Susie, I have a rank in rumor. Would it be possible that Seraphina's heard rumors of something like this before and would have an idea of, I don't know, its history or something?
Okay, yeah, roll me a rumor test. Let's see. We're going to make this challenging. So minus 10%.
Okay, so that makes it 46.
Oof.
Never heard of it.
No, I mean, from what you know from the city, this could be anything from smugglers to local thieves getting really cocky, really organized. You don't know. There's a many things that it could be. It's definitely strange, and you've not heard anything concrete.
Okay. Then yeah, Seraphina looks back at Zara and is like, no idea. I don't know what these could be.
I mean, we could go look.
We have come
I'm always
this far.
for peering into dark places.
I'm sure you are.
Zara glances to Zachariah, who I think was someone at the back of the group, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jay?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I came down last behind you all. I've just been listening to you all dither.
Well,
Oh my.
Out of character, someone could do like the little like peek through the trap door, but not all the way up.
three little heads pop out like little meerkats. And then...
From up top, it's like that bit in Evil Dead where the zombies are coming out of the trap door. They're like, what the fuck? But you guys are like, hi.
Well,
Never mind, close it, lock.
do we go forwards or back? And this is to Zachariah.
Well, something tells me, with your desires, you're only going to find answers by going forward, not backward. And at this point, you kind of notice that Zachariah's all hunched back over again. And he's still, he dusted himself off, picked up his stick, and he's kind of back to being a hunched little old man who looks like he's lost about a foot of height.
I have so many questions.
like motion with the torch in one hand and like his stick in the other. Onward, that's what I say. And like he'll start sort of striding forward, further down.
Careful with the light. If we can see by it, they can see it too.
They? You sound dreadfully paranoid, dear.
Well, more than one person must have dug this tunnel.
That doesn't mean they're still here. Besides, you look like you know how to handle yourself.
I have a few tricks. Like you.
Me? Just a couple. When I really need them.
Azara's
Lucius-
tension has back forwards.
Lucius loves that Zechariah is a suspicion sponge.
I don't know what you mean.
Zara turns back to the golem as she thinks of him now. The golem of light. Lead the way.
All right. And he just continues walking calmly down the passageway.
Zara's hand kind of sneaks back and squeezes her sister's very briefly as she realizes she has once more driven them into a very dangerous situation, but there's no going back.
All right. So, Lucius, you're up at the front, right? You're taking point on this. I would like you to roll me an awareness test. Oh, yeah. I'm rolling the dice. Every time I forget.
Sorry. I would love to
No,
be able
you're
to
good.
roll it, but it crashes every time I open it.
While you were rolling that, Zweihander RPG has very generously put a link in chat that I'm going to repost right now. It's limited to 25 copies, but if you click that link, you can get a free digital PDF and phone PDF combo for the core Zweihander game. So click that link if you haven't got it and you'd like it. It's valid for up to 25 people.
Sweet. Okay, so that was going to be just a standard test. You had to beat a 45, and you got a 37. So, as you're walking along, Lucius, you see just about ankle height, there appears to be a tripwire.
Lucius kind of pulls up and turns to his back, is leaning against the wall, and kind of just gestures down with the light. He's like, "If here's someone else is here at least," pointing out the tripwire.
Where there's one, there's going to be more.
And he kind of like looks up, and the ceiling's kind of close, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it gives it like not a big obvious mark, but a little scratch there. So like if they're coming back, they don't have to. They can know easier where things are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So you also, part of looking up as well, you're looking for any sort of mechanism that would land a terrible surprise upon your face should you have tripped over this wire. You don't see anything immediately as you look up, but you make a mark just to make sure that you know that this tripwire is here for the next time. And,
like if we're running back down the tunnel, we can see that mark.
Yeah, you can see it. Yeah. You're not going to go. Yeah. Okay, so do you kind of just step over it and carry on?
Yeah, step over it.
Okay.
Zara would step to follow, but she wants to look to see, what does this tripwire cause? Does it cause like a ringing of a bell, or is there a blade that's going to come swinging through, or does it collapse the tunnel? Can she see what the mechanism does?
Roll me a scrutinize test.
Okay, cool. 58 is my target.
Okay. Oof.
No.
Okay, so you try to follow this tripwire to see what mechanism it's gonna trigger, but it appears to be very well disguised within either the ceiling, the walls, or the floor of this thing. You can't quite make out what.
So she's kind of
if
half
anything.
steps over it, and she's like gently following the line, like hovering her hand over it, and then it just disappears. And then she remembers herself and carefully steps with that other foot over the tripwire before she walks through it, having forgotten what she's doing.
She's gonna get everybody murdered because she's like, ooh. Okay, so you kind of just step over it and carry on.
Yeah, just step over it.
Okay.
Okay, cool. 59 is my target. 58 is my target. 59 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 is my target. 59
Okay. And as you're walking along, Lucius, this tunnel again it seems to be descending down again, and there are more twists and turns, and it gets quite serpentine at points. But you come across a couple more of these trap wires as you're walking that you kind of avoid and mark again. But you start to, as you're walking, your footsteps have been quite present to yourself. You know, you're in quite closed environment, so they're not echoing too much. But as you're descending further, this tunnel seems to be getting wider, and your footsteps are echoing more and more. Are you still all approaching as you are normally, just at a normal pace? Like, I need to know how you guys are going through this tunnel.
Lucius is kind of like just walking casually down the tunnel, but like if he will adapt himself to everyone else's, because his mind point right now is like, the light has guided me to these people, so I'm just going to go along with them and see what the light wants me to do.
Seraphina definitely wants to try to like quiet her footsteps and sort of like motion for everyone else to kind of be quiet and hug the walls a little bit, so in case we like walk out into an open area, we're not ambushed.
Okay. So if anybody's wanting to move a bit more quietly, I would like stealth checks from you.
All right, I'll do that.
Yep, Zara is also stepping lightly.
I'm stealthy as heck.
So
Zachariah is absolutely not. He's still shuffling along at the back with that click clack of his walking stick.
I'm so quiet.
Okay. So Lucius and Seraphina are like the night. They are silent as they step. Zachariah and Zara, not so much.
I think because Zara's got like that wrong shoe on, she kind of trips over like some rubble
Scuffles
or something on her way through. She's like also looking backwards and forwards at like the various members of the party.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just relieved it's not a tripwire. But she kind
of
and like jolts forwards and like grabs onto Lucius's cloak in front of her to like catch herself.
Yeah, I think she makes a very audible oof, the kind of oof, 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 oof down the corridor, and the clicking of stones that just get scattered out in front of you. Lucius, since you're right at the front, we'll have another awareness test from you. So that is a 45 to beat. Oh, with a 12, you hear a shh. And you see very quickly the flicker of light that just disappears a little bit further
like
down.
holds the torch down lower. He goes, "There are someone up ahead.
What?
I'm pretty sure they know we're here."
What?
Yeah, Zachariah literally just then say "what" like far too loud and not subtly at all.
And then in like a repeat of the shush down the other end of the corridor, Zara's like shh.
What?
Can Seraphina, I have a rank in warfare, and I want to try to like organize people to like sort of like motion at them and be like, this is how we're all going to approach, so that we are not like, so that we can kind of try to get the drop on them, even though they know we're here now, but very quietly, so it doesn't echo.
So you get one of your drumsticks and you like in the dirt draw out like a little battle formation.
Yes.
Okay, so roll me that warfare test to see how easily and well you confer that information to them.
All right, my target is 49. Oh my goodness. Oh. Cool. Perfect.
And Lucius is trying to remember exactly where he saw the light blink out too.
You can use a token, Jess, if you want.
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, I'll reroll that one. Instead of just me like drawing in the dirt like a child, and everyone is like, "What is she doing?" Okay, yeah, that one beats it.
Okay, so at 35, you managed to lay out. You do a really actually quite good drawing of like the corridor as far as you can see it, the room that, or the rooms maybe ahead of you that you can make out ish. Where you think they might be, you know, where the best place for each one of you to be in this sort of formation is. You sort of lay that out and whisper these orders to them, as it were.
And so what is Seraphina's plan for us, Jess? What do you tell us to do?
She's basically going to try to figure out the best way to sort of like hug the walls after we like extinguish our lights to try to get up to wherever we saw, like wherever Lucius saw the light blink out, so that we can try to just like get to that area without being spotted and figure out who's up there. Basically like trying to avoid an ambush.
I can get myself beyond them, so I'll be on the other side of them.
Sure, yeah. That seems...
And then if I see
reasonable.
them, and then if they begin to attack you, then we'll have someone behind them. So Lucius is gonna take out that key and put it into like, it just goes into the wall. It turns, and then like the door forms, but this time it's like a muted color. It's not like a big shining light, and he kind of just pushes it into the wall, like almost like the wall is like a passageway now. And he steps into it, and he's going to make it the other end appear past where he saw that torch go out. So he's going to like quietly step out. He's not going to make a noise. He's just going to stand there in darkness as he steps out.
Okay. Oh my god.
So that's a
Do you need
lesser
to make
spell.
an incantation roll for that?
You sure do, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's casting a
I
spell.
didn't know if you were going to auto succeed it or not. Was all I was curious.
Does the peril shit reset after a
Nope.
fight? Okay, then I'm gonna roll it.
Okay, so let me roll
So-
that for you.
Yeah, he's got like a rank in it, and
Oh, okay.
All
So
kinda
you were
stuff.
looking for a 57. You got 23, so you succeed, and you you open up this doorway. You step through, and you kind of Seraphina, Zara, and Zachariah, as you look to where Lucius was looking, sort of to the wall's left-hand side, off into this darkness. You see a brief little flicker of light that you were looking for as Lucius steps out the other side. And Lucius, you stand there in the darkness.
silently against the wall. Yeah, just listening and.
And you are face to face with a boy. And he just goes, "Oh, fuck me!" And you hear like a little tinkle because he's peed himself.
Quiet. The light has come.
What do you mean the light has come?
What are you doing down here?
I'm doing my job.
What is that?
To protect the passageways, to make sure no weirdos got in here. But
And Lucius kind of like points behind him to where the door was and leans in. Too late for that, but it's not too late for you.
what do you mean?
Are you by yourself?
No, there's Gilbert with me.
Where's
What?
Gilbert?
He's just down there.
Is Gilbert another boy like you?
Well, he's older, but yeah.
And is Gilbert armed?
Well, yeah, because we both are. But we're not gonna. I swear, like, I'm not gonna use it against you, sir. I'm not.
Lucius leans in, even closer, like, but smiling almost like this. He should not be smiling in the dark like this, coming out of a wall. And he pulls out a little a track with that warehouse address on it. And he goes, "This is not the best job for you, is it? You're here in the dark with people stepping out of walls, and who knows what else is in the dark coming for you. This is a place where you can live more in the light and not have to do a job like this. Just take this and leave in the peace of the light. This will be a much better job with much less terrifying darkness."
And he, like, shakingly, like, his hand is like this as he goes to take the leaflet, and he, like, almost rips it from your hand because of the shaking, as he sort of takes it and looks at you. Can I go now?
Yes, but remember, the light follows everything, you should go there. I wouldn't want to have to meet you in the darkness again, would I?
No. And he just
Good boy.
sprints towards where Zachariah, Seraphina, and Zara are. And you see this boy, he can't be more than 13 years old. And he almost collides with you as he starts scarpers. And you can see as he passes that he smells of pee. And he's almost crying as he runs past you. Zara can't smell that.
I think Zara throws herself up against the wall as someone comes running towards them, and like her breath is held.
And what was the name of the other boy?
Gilbert.
You told me. And as he runs away, Lucius goes, just laying him back in the dark, not making any light, goes, Gilbert, I think you should go with your friend, Gilbert.
Oh my god. This is the worst thing that's ever happened in this
We're
game.
not trapped with them. They're trapped with Lucius, not us.
Yeah, yeah. Before that happens, I would like Zara, Seraphina, and Zachariah to make me an awareness test as this boy runs past you.
58 for me. Unless it's smell connected for any reason.
It is not smell connected.
Okay.
Smell where the boy's from.
That's a 15 to me.
Just town.
Okay.
Fail for me.
All right, so Seraphina and Zachariah, as this boy runs past you, you can see that he is not, as he runs past you, hear it more than anything else. He is wearing chainmail, and his garb appears to be much more than just average, like thieves or anything like that. He seems to be wearing some proper kit, and you hear like the sword in his scabbard like hit the walls as he's running.
If he can do it quickly enough, like depending on like at what point in the boy's movement Zachariah hears all of this, and again he with a 15, he clearly hears this better than an old man should.
Oh yeah.
He will put his walking stick out really quickly to just block the little boy's way. No, I'm just gonna stop him.
Okay.
If I hear it in the right place and I'm quick enough to do that.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Because you're at the back of this group, so you've heard this kid coming for quite some time, and you stick your stick across the sort of tunnel blocking his passage, and he collides with it and falls over onto the dirt, and he's scrabbling to get back up, and he's like, look, I'm sorry, I told your friend that I would leave and I wouldn't do anything, I'm not gonna do that, and he just starts crying.
So Zachariah will do this thing where he's to the outside eye, it looks like he's helping this little boy up. As he's like helping him up, he's holding on to him far too tightly. Like he's lifting him up. Come on, boy, it's okay. And he's got such a rigid grip on like his the clothing on his shoulders. And with it, so I've got him in one hand, and I'll take his staff down off the wall and just sort of jab at him ever so slightly, like tapping the chainmail. Where did a little boy like you get such magnificent armor?
From my job, sir.
Your job? You have an employer, do you?
We're the worst.
You do? Oh, well done, little man. You must feel like quite the strong boy. Only a child and already has a job. Who do you work for?
And through his sobs, you hear him say, the guard, sir.
Speak up, boy, I'm old.
And he's like snot, and he's wiping his nose. I work for the city guard, sir.
The city guards? And what interest do they have in guarding underground panels?
I don't know. I just came here because that's what they told me to.
And Zachariah's just like eyeing this little boy up for far too long. And I'll do that that thing where he like squeezes him tighter for just half a second, and then, well, then you'd better get on, hadn't you, little man? And I'll let him carry on.
He whimpers as you squeeze his arm, and it's such a pathetic sound. But as you release him, he again scampers off, and you wait. 1.
Wait.
2.
No, he knows about it though. Oh no.
Wait. Can I do a thing? I was looking up a spell.
Okay. Sure.
So I think Zachariah is about to let him go, and Zara reaches out, and she's gonna attempt to cast Shut Eye on him, to send him to sleep. So it has to be someone I touch. So she's got to reach out and touch him, and then hopefully they will become helpless and knocked prone for 3+ willpower bonus in minutes. So it doesn't buy us a lot of time, but it saves him running away if I can do this. So my incantation,
yeah, let's see,
is 54. That's my goal. Come on, Zara. That's not 54 or below.
That's not 54.
Can I use one of the tokens, fam? How do we feel?
Yes, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't want this boy to run to the. I don't want this boy to run to the tripwire. I want him to make it out.
That's Wes.
Ah.
Sorry.
Do it again.
Do it again? Use the last token.
I don't know. We're almost done to the end of the session, aren't we?
Got an hour left.
We're on our last hour. I think we'll save the last token.
Yeah.
We'll save it. So she reaches out and she tries to draw on the spell, but I think in the middle she has to wipe her nose because there's just blood dripping down her face and it won't stop. And I think that small handful of sand just kind of gets mixed with blood and it's like caked onto her hand. She goes to like blow it, which I think is like the trigger for the spell, and it just doesn't go anywhere. It's like caked onto her palm.
Okay, so you reach out to try and stop this boy, and you wait 1, 2, 3, and you hear his footfalls. They're frantic, they're panicked, and you hear his whimpering and his crying as he runs. Then you hear and then a crash, and then silence.
And then in that silence, Lucius goes, "Gilbert, I think you should probably follow your friend." And then as soon as he says that, he quietly steps to the other side of the tunnel so he's not where his voice was.
Oh, you creepy bastard. Fuck. All right. So you you see ahead of you, Lucius, and the rest of you see this now as this lantern gets turned on. And you see an older boy, he's still not out of his teens, like 17, 18 maybe, who steps forward. And he's got a little bit of bravery about him, but you can see that his torch is kind of shaking a little bit as he steps forward. And he has a short sword drawn. And he's going, "Who's there?"
"Gilbert, we know who you are.
How do you know
who
my
your
name?
name is, Gilbert. It'd be best if you left now before we tell you the other things we know about you."
"Show yourselves. On orders of the Queen, show yourselves."
"Gilbert, the Queen doesn't want you to die down here in the dark, does she?"
"I'd gladly give my life for the Queen."
"How about your friend, though? Aren't you supposed to be protecting him? Shouldn't you go and see how he's doing?"
"What have you done with him?"
"I think that's for you to find out. He's your charge, isn't he?"
Roll me an intimidation check. This is awful.
Just, normal priest ways of dealing with people.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, so intimidation for you, Jordan, is where is it? I've lost it. It is a 40 we're aiming for. But I'm gonna give you plus 10% to that because you know his name and you're being such a creepy fucker.
And I know about like his friend.
Okay, so this is a 50 or under we've got to get for you. And that's a 78, unfortunately. But you see him now as he steps forward, and that lantern is shaking more. But you see that glint of the sword point come forward, and you can see now this young man step forward, and he's wearing it's quite plain, but you can see it's quite well made. It's like a simple jerking with like a bit of chain coif sort of around his neck. He has a sword belt on, and he sort of is approaching you slowly.
Is this a point where I could cast a spell if I wanted to?
If you wanted to, you could.
All right. So, he's gonna just quietly walk forward until he's at the very edge of the light, and then quickly step forward and just place a hand on the boy's chest, and then push him backward through the door that he makes up here behind him. And he's gonna make the end of it be just down back where they came in the dark. You know.
Okay, so that is an incantation test, unless you're willingly going down a step on the peril.
No, I'm gonna roll.
All right, incantation. Let's see. That's going to be a 57. It's an 87.
Oh,
unfortunately.
okay.
So you sort of put a hand on his chest and push him backwards, and he is not receptive to that. And he sort of is going to, he's going to try and hit you with his sword. In this short thing, as you have pushed at him. So just bear with me a second as I figure out how to do this.
Gilbert, you don't want to do this, Gilbert.
I think with a 36 he does. So you are able to do a parry if you wish to not take any damage from this.
Okay.
Otherwise, he will hit you.
Sure, why not?
Okay, so we're looking for a 41 for you to successfully parry this. Oh, it's a 14. So he sort of lunges at you half-heartedly, like it's not quite in it. You can tell the fear is starting to take him as he comes at you with the sword, and he sort of half-heartedly lunges, and he's off balance because he's got the lantern with his other hand. You just kind of bat away that sword with your torch. You know, the extinguished torch.
Why would you do something so wicked, Gilbert?
You assaulted a member of the Queen's Guard.
I was merely trying to help you on your way.
And he takes
Aren't you wondering where? What's the boy's name? Roy or something?
Yeah, he's called Roy now. Yeah, Roy.
Aren't you wondering where Roy is, Gilbert? I think Roy probably needs you.
What have you done with him?
Roy started down his journey towards the light, and I think you maybe want to go and check on him. As far as like fighting and stuff goes, is this a point where I would do an action now, or
so if you are wanting,
I'm trying to
take
I want him to run away, but if he try, it looks like he's gonna fight some more. I would, as he stumbles past me, maybe like do the same spell again. Let's see if he would step into the door this time.
So he's not gonna willingly sort of step past you to start leaving where the other boy did. But I'm just going to give the others a chance to do something at this point, because he's kind of like, I mean, it's happening concurrently. So he's arguing with you about where this boy is, about on the orders of the Queen, like, he's honor legally bound to, all this stuff. So Zara, Serafina, and Zachariah, you hear this confrontation happening, and you can kind of a little bit see it from where you are.
I think Zara is like turned to both of them and like, why are there Queen's Guard down here? That makes no sense. And then she winces as there's that sound of the tripwire down at the other end, and then that silence.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go walk up to where Lucius and Gilbert are after hearing everything that's happening, and basically just start telling Gilbert that I just came from above ground, and I heard, it's the night of the hunt. They were looking for the people in these tunnels to get them out to make sure they're safe. Is basically just gonna start telling him this this very involved story about all these rumors that she's heard about how they're trying to gather everyone because something's going wrong with the hunt, and they want everyone to get above ground and get into hiding and be safe. Because I do get plus 20 base chance to when gossiping or spinning a tale.
I imagine she's also and the beast has escaped.
And
all right, okay.
So can I do my rumor that I'm telling him?
You absolutely can. So roll for that with your plus 20.
So that means my target is 76.
Ooh,
Nice.
Scolds you.
So 47.
Okay. 47. Okay, so you start spinning him this tale about, panic in the streets, checking these tunnels for survivors, for hunters, and all this just stuff. You're fast talking at him with these rumors. And he kind of just goes, is this true? Are you with him? And he points at Lucius with his head, like gestures.
I would listen to her.
What's important here is that you need to get out of here and get safe.
Well, I can't. I've got to
Why
be
not?
here. And he sort of straightens up a little bit. It's my duty.
Well, is your duty more important than your life? I heard that they were gathering everyone to get them together to keep the people safe from the beast. It's gotten out of control.
That might be the case, but I've got my orders.
And what are your orders?
Well, me and Roy were supposed to patrol these little tunnels here and make sure that nobody came down them, because I wasn't quite told why. I don't have the privilege of having that knowledge, but we were told to keep these tunnels clear of civilians and ruffians and ne'er-do-wells.
But
Do I look like a
glares
ruffian
at Lucius.
or a ne'er-do-well?
Well, begging your pardon, miss, but this one here pushed me. Was speaking some sort of nonsense about my life, which is pretty threatening behaviour, if you ask me.
I was merely encouraging you.
What is it you're supposed to do if you find someone down in these tunnels?
Well, we arrest them.
And what if you can't arrest them? What if you're, overpowered? She says and points at Lucius.
Well, then I'll gladly give my life in service to the crown.
But wouldn't your life be better in service protecting from the beast that is loose now and has escaped the hunt?
That's none of my concern, sir. I am not of the clergy. That's their purview.
Well, what about if you need to arrest people and all you need is some backup? Isn't there somewhere you can go to get help?
Well, begging your pardon, miss, but I can't exactly reveal that information to you. That is, classified. I shouldn't even be talking to you anyway. I should be arresting you on the spot.
You should be finding Roy.
Oh, I don't think that I need to leave. This is a kid, right? Like a teenager?
Yeah, he's like 17. He's a human kid. He's just too young for this.
And you see that Lucius is in his left hand. It kind of looks at you, and he's holding a key in his left hand, and kind of looks at you meaningfully, and looks at the boy.
Would I be able to just hypothetically, if someone as young as 17 were to ingest some laudanum, would that perhaps knock them unconscious? Hypothetically? I'm not asking for any particular reason.
Hypothetically speaking, if a 17-year-old was dosed with enough laudanum, yes, it would, hypothetically speaking, render them unconscious.
Hypothetically. Because I would never do that.
Hypothesis is being considered. I think Zara is to Zachariah, and she's asking again, why are there Queen's guards down in the tunnel?
Why are there guards anywhere? Clearly there's something down here that the Queen deems important.
Undermining the city. And what district were we in before, Susie? Was it like the entertainment district, or?
You were in the cathedral ward. So you were in the major sort of religious district, and this is the one with the 9 million cathedrals. The very extremely good Gothic aesthetic.
The tunnel, why would you... Was the tunnel to the cathedrals or away from them?
again with all the questions? I
Just
think
trying to
the boy is
understand.
the one with the answers. And this is like a complete, would you stop bothering me, kind of like, go and talk to the boy sort of attitude from Zachariah right now.
And she looks back down to where Roy had gone running and like winces again. And there's an audible like sniff as her nose is still kind of dripping. And she looks over at Zachariah. You need a bath. And she's gonna walk away. Even though she can't smell him or anything, she's gonna start heading towards where her sister and Lucius went. She just can't think of like an insult right now, and that's like the closest thing she could come up with.
Got him.
Nailed it.
And as she walks away, she'll just hear, what?
I said you need a bath!
What?
Serafina is, since she got Gilbert kind of like talking to her, is just gonna kind of like get a little bit closer and like put an arm on his shoulder, just very casually, like, look at how non-threatening I am. Look, aren't we just like having a good chill time in this here tunnel? And reach into her bag and pull out a little vial and say, you know, if you're down here all alone, I have something that could really help you out. I mean, as we already established, I am not a ruffian or a ne'er-do-well, but I happen to have something that would really help you get out of this situation. This will solve your problems currently. This is going to be like exactly what you need to get you away from like this weirdo, right? And I am trying to spin a tale again about this like very useful tincture that I have.
Okay. All right, let's go.
I feel like a monster. Am I supposed to feel like a monster?
Yes.
A 75. Was that under what I needed? Yes, because I needed under a 76.
Oh, just about.
So I beat it by 1.
Okay, so he looks at you quite dubiously. I'm gonna make him have a do like a will test to see if he can keep his wits about him.
Look at how trustworthy and disarming I am. Ugh.
Okay, but that was gonna be hard because he's very threatened right now. So that's actually a failure because he's a kid, right? And he is very, very suspicious, but he for some reason looks at you and says, "Look, I don't want no trouble."
And at that moment, Lucius is going to reach over silently and try to open a door in the wall behind him, and look at Serafina like push this kid into this door.
Serafina's doing the, like over his head is like,
and just as the kid's taking this little vial from you, you know, and like this whole happening at the same time. Yeah, he's like reaching out to take it.
I thought he wasn't taking it. Okay.
Oh right, okay.
Right.
So you're ready to do it.
I'm ready to do
you're
it.
Ready.
But I'm not doing it.
All right.
I thought he was.
And Serafina's like,
Yeah,
and he takes it. What's in it?
well, and at this point she sort of like stands in front of him and kind of like puts her hands up to calm him down and so like, what I promised you is that this would get you out of this situation, and it will. You are going to fall unconscious, but you're going to be okay. We are not going to hurt you, and that's what I did for you. That's how I got you out of this situation, is if I hadn't knocked you out, this guy would have done something horrible. So you're going to lose consciousness, but I promise that you will be okay.
You're not going to do anything. You're not going to do anything weird to me, right? Because last time that anything like this happened, I woke up in an ice bath and I was missing one of my kidneys.
No, I have no intention of touching you whatsoever. Like,
God,
you will fall unconscious here, and we will leave you here. And when you wake up, you can go live your life.
All right, just just leave me in the corner, yeah?
Of course. And
All
Serafina
right.
will like help him get wherever he wants to like fall unconscious at and help him get comfy there.
Okay, so he kind of sits down in the corner and he looks like a man. He looks so upset. It's like you've handed him a potion, like of death, right? He's looking at this like he's just about to die. And man on his execution day, but he pops the little cork out of it. And he looks at you one more time, sadness in his eyes as he drinks it. And it doesn't take very long before he's out cold.
Okay, nobody touch him. He's out cold. He's not a problem anymore. Leave
But
me here.
as he's drinking it, as it's going into his mouth, Lucius steps forward and tucks a track into the pocket of his tunic and goes, "You need to find Roy. Follow this to find Roy." And pats it on his chest as he's finished swallowing and falls asleep.
And Zara arrives as this kid like flops over. He's like, "What?
Mm-hmm.
What did you do?"
Nothing. I just knocked him out. He's just unconscious for a few hours. He will be fine.
We should move.
We should.
But I don't know if forward's the best idea if Queensguard are down here.
Well, if they've just got a bunch of children guarding, I don't know.
I am interested in seeing what these tunnels lead to now.
Well, I suppose we've just assaulted 2 Queensguard. What's a few more? Zara is just picturing gallows in her future. Like...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's picturing guillotines.
Yeah, that's the right attitude to bring into this. Let's
And she'll take Serafina's lamp and she'll start leading the way. It's like, right, if we're doing this, then this is my fault. It's fine. I'll go first.
All right. So, as you head further into the tunnel system, I would like you to make me an awareness test, Charlie, as you're up at the front.
I can't believe you Charlie the unicorn to poor Gilbert.
Oh!
She's really alert. She's like hyper alert now. Paranoia has kicked in. You know, it's that whole like Phantom of the Opera, keep your hand to your eye, like
Your hand at
no
the
one
level
is
of your
getting me
eyes.
down here. Yeah.
All right. So you're walking down, keeping your hand at the level of your eyes as you walk down these tunnels. And again, they seem to stretch for an eternity. And I would actually like you to make me another one of those survival tests, see if you can figure out where you are.
I rolled a 50. I needed survival is under perception. I needed a 48, so I fail.
Oof. Okay. You can't quite figure it out, but you feel like you may have doubled back on yourself at some point as you sort of turned and went down. But after it must be an hour, you see little offshoots of smaller
I have
tunnels.
an idea, Susie. If she feels like she's circled back, she would hold out the lamp to Serafina and pull down that headband, and she's going to attempt to do witch sight. Something is very weird and with the world in general, in her opinion, but she's very suspicious, and any advantage in the dark is currently her plan. So I'm going to try and cast witch sight. It just helps me see magic, basically.
Gotcha. So roll me that incantation test.
I sure will. Alright. I'm gonna risk another chaos manifestation and say that she's like concentrating and channeling it.
Okay.
Incantation. So it's 54 goes up to 64.
So if you channel your magic, you get an extra 10.
Yeah, but you have to roll a chaos dice, so the
I'm
world
gonna do
might
that
eat
every
you
time.
for it.
Ooh. So no
I think I
chaos
get away with that.
manifestation. I think
Yeah.
you do. I think it's just 6.
3, 7. Yeah, I don't think I've got the thing where it happens on a 1 or a 6. I think it's just... Because that's what Kit had. If she rolled a 1 or a 6, it went off.
Yeah.
So which site? After successfully casting this spell, you can visually determine if an object or a person is imbued or under the influence of magic. Naturally, since dark magic flows within the unliving, you can also detect creatures that are classed as supernatural. So I guess the object would be like the wall, maybe, of the tunnel, or if there's like a person she can see. It lasts for 3+ willpower minutes, so a while. Let me see, 6 minutes.
Okay, so you put down this this scarf over your eyes, and it's strange because by all factors that should actually impede you. But as you're walking along, your vision's never been clearer. You don't detect anything magical down here. You do feel like a prickle on your skin of something strange, but it's not necessarily anything magical. There's just something that's not quite right as you're focused dead ahead as you're walking.
I'm just double checking I don't have the thing. Oh no, my thing is if I generate a 6 with a chaos dice, I invoke a chaos manifestation, so
Gotcha.
that's why we did that earlier. Yep.
Gotcha. But after what feels like an hour of walking, and you do, as I was saying, you do see little offshoots of smaller sort of passageways that lead off places, but you've been following this main sort of tunnel because they seem small and minor. You open up into a large room, and it is pitch black. Have you relit your torches and lanterns?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you sort of step into this room, it's silent. There's no sound, but there's a you can sort of your lanterns sort of edge into this darkness, and you can see on the ground at your feet the edges of what appears to be a big circle with runes and symbols drawn around it. So you just catch like the edge of a circle. And it's dark in color.
Zara would halt almost immediately, knowing what a magic circle is, not knowing what this magic circle is, and she'd hold out her hands to try and stop anyone from standing on the runes or on the edge of the circle. But if she's quick enough, it's up to you, Susie. I don't know how.
Roll me a coordination test. Let's see if she's on it.
Okay, coordination, 48 is my target. Wait, no, 53, because I don't have a point in the thing. Success!
Okay, so as you sort of edge into this room, you're about to step forward when you catch that in the corner of your eye and you stop, like toes right on the edge of the circle.
Everyone stop. She says as quietly as possible.
What is it? What's wrong?
It's a magical circle, I think. Look, the runes.
Some sort of dark magic, probably.
I don't know. It could be anything.
All magic that's not of the light is dark. And he kind of leans forward, not stepping on it, but looking at it to see if he can know what it is. And why would that be like a scrutinize or like a...
Yeah, let's go with the scrutinize.
I have scrutinize, I have alchemy, I have...
Hang on, what skills?
A bunch of stuff. Incantation, interrogation, tradecraft.
Let's go with scrutinize.
Okay.
So what are we looking for target for scrutinize?
55? I mean, no.
55.
Because having a rank in it adds 10.
That's right.
So I have
we're
50
after 55?
natural and then 55, yeah.
Oh, you got a 19. Okay. So as you sort of edge around this circle, you hold up that lantern to look at it, and you see that sort of breaking up the edges of the circles are smaller circles with things sat inside them. You see a skull in one of them. You see a candle in another. There's what appears to be like a goblet with a dark liquid in it within another one of the circles. You can see inside it's like concentric circles with runes and symbols drawn within them. And there's something at the middle, at the center. Not not as big as like a dais, but definitely like a table that's been brought in. But you can't quite really make it out as this circle is pretty large. But as far as you know, Lucius, this looks to be some sort of ritual for summoning or sacrifice or something along those lines.
Lucius like immediately spits on the ground and he's like, "This is dark, fell magic for summoning the ruinous powers. We must destroy this."
It's not necessarily easy to destroy a magic circle. It's not... You could cause it to go off.
Well, now, let's not be so hasty. Why
There's
do
no
we
other
want to
option.
destroy it?
Because it is evil. It is all that is dark and chaotic in the world. This is the thing that would drag us all kicking into the shadows from the light.
We
The
shouldn't be
world is
here.
meant to end, is it not?
Yes, but it will end in light. In oneness for everyone, not this darkness corruption that seeps under the corners of the doors while we sleep, that whispers in our ears and our dreams and changes man into beast.
Yes, that's all very fancy. It ignores the rule of duality. Light cannot exist without dark. That's
Just
what
you
makes it
watch.
light.
And you have not seen the light as I have seen the light.
Oh, I've seen a many great things, friend.
So you would let demons be summoned into this city to run rampant chaos.
I would let the world be exactly what it is. Let us not step in the way of the machinations of man.
Why would a Queen's Guard be protecting a summoning circle?
Because the Queen's Guard's probably been lied to. They didn't know what was down here.
Someone does.
They were protecting a tunnel. And we should find out who is in league with the ruinous powers here. But first, we should destroy this.
Is there any space around the edge of the circumference of the circle to like go around this room to explore this room without stepping through it?
Yeah, absolutely. There's like a good like 1.5 foot worth of clearance between the circle and the edges of the room. But there is like nothing in this room beyond this circle, beyond this table in the middle.
What's the equivalent of like an Arcana roll in this game to try to like look through like lore that I know and stuff?
Let's have a look.
That not exist.
I would guess incantation would be pretty close.
Yeah,
Folklore, maybe.
I would say let's go incantation because that's to do with like spells. So usually that's for your spell casting, but for knowledge of spells, I think that applies too.
Okay, so 47 plus 4 for my natural is 51, and then plus 10.
It's 57 total.
57 total.
Yeah, you're good. Don't worry. Okay, I'll roll that for you.
Can I channel that, or that's only for when you're actually doing a spell?
Just when you're doing the spell.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is just using my knowledge. Okay.
You got a 17. Okay, so what exactly are you looking for to learn about this circle?
I wanted to learn, one, how to safely disactivate it, and also I want to know what principality this is trying to summon, which of the ruinous lords this is bound to.
I would say that you, despite your vast knowledge of the various earthly, unearthly, godly, and ungodly powers, you're not entirely certain which one this is in service to. But you do know that you would be able to safely disrupt this circle by destroying that central point. There's something there in the middle. That's where the focus of the power is.
So he will turn to the others and be like, I will destroy this. Does anyone say that we should leave a portal to chaos open? or building its own power?
I'm not for leaving a portal to chaos open. I'm more concerned that like anything we try to do is just going to make it worse and just like accidentally activate it.
I can step through the ways of the light and just be on the center pedestal immediately without crossing over any other part of this.
That's true, but we also, does anyone actually know what this thing is for? Like, do we know for sure it would summon a demon, or is that just your whole thing?
Can I scrutinize this? Following Seraphina's like suspicion, like because we're just taking Lucius's word that this is what this is for. Having scurried around, can I glean anything incantation? Okay, 54.
Well, we know this is gonna summon like the thing that saves us all.
Yeah, usually that's blood and hearts and skulls.
That's a 57, so unfortunately not Zara. You have knowledge. Sorry, Jay, go ahead.
I was going to say, Zachariah will want to check as well. And he's not unfamiliar with rituals involving magic circles either.
All right, let's have that test.
Team magic circle.
This is where's it gone? Incantation. All right, 52.
Nice.
Okay, 23. So you're pretty certain this is for something demonic. This is something. It's definitely like sacrificial in nature, but you don't know who it's for. I'd say both Lucius and Zachariah would know with a ritual such as this. If there is a sacrifice performed, the name of the thing being invoked would be said aloud, not written down. So unless you were there at the ritual at the time, you wouldn't know who this is for. But this is definitely like some demon ritual bullshit that's happened in here.
So Lucius is going to reach out with his key and just open a door in the side and just kind of like step sideways into it.
Okay.
He's going to always have to roll to try to do that, but he's going to try to like do it so he steps out right on by the pedestal in the middle.
I imagine Zara from the other side of the room is like, no.
Lucius is tired of people talking about whether or not we should destroy demons instead of just destroying them.
All right, so are you wanting to channel this?
Yes, I'm going to channel this.
Okay, so we attempt
maybe have something horrible happen.
All right, so that's a 67 we're aiming for. You got 26. That pops off absolutely fine. Let's roll that d6. See if you get a chaos manifestation. You do not.
6. Oh.
So you step through the door and you appear at this central point.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have a light source with you?
Yeah, I have a torch.
Okay. So you have your torch.
And it's funny that when the door opens, the light that's inside of it doesn't seem to come out. If anything, it seems like it's sucking in light.
Spooky. All right, so you appear at that central point, and as he appears, everyone else, you can see now that his torch illuminates a long table, about 6 feet or so in length, and laid on it appears to be a person. It appears to be an elven male, and he is dressed in a sort of white, clear, sort of shroudy robe. But the center part of his chest is exposed, and the robe around him is just doused in blood. And you can see now, Lucius has just stood over him, there's just a hole in his chest, and his heart is missing. But as you sort of lean down to investigate, you catch a smell, almost sulfurous. And as you're getting closer, the chest expands with a breath, the eyes pop open, and with like bone cracking sounds, it begins to lift itself off the table by chest first, its head bent back as it sits up, and it turns to look at you, and its head twists more than a neck should. And I would like everybody to roll initiative.
Yeah.
So this is
It's a
10
mini-series.
plus
Why do anything
initiative
safe?
bonus, right? You are 100% correct, Jordan. Always do the big stupid thing. All right,
Just light it
10
on
plus
fire.
9 for me.
Okay.
4,
did this,
9,
and I didn't
13.
have the code ready.
18 for Zachariah.
All right, while we roll up these initiatives, I'm actually going to start up our corruption poll as we are near the end of the session. So, who is going to gain corruption this episode? That is going to go in chat. You need to do !vote, space, and then the number of your choice. 0 will be Zara, 1 will be Lucius, 2 will be Seraphina, and 3 will be Zachariah.
Okay, so let me. Oh, that's a good initiative. No, that's a bad initiative for the thingy. Why did I roll a D100? Never mind. Let me roll that again. Okay, 6 less. And for Lucius, let me roll for him. Ooh, okay. All right. So, Zara, what is your initiative?
Super lucky 13.
13. Lucius, yours is a 14. Zachariah, what is yours?
18.
18. Dang. And Seraphina?
14.
14. Okay. I forget how we resolve initiative clashes.
The highest base initiative. Or agility mod.
Yes, that's it. How so what is your agility AB?
5.
5. Dang. Okay. Okay, so first up we will have Zachariah, then we'll have and then okay, so Zachariah, you watch this corpse just raise itself off this bed and turn to stare at Lucius. What would you like to do?
Just checking my combat options, because this is slightly different from the other little puppy. I will. Is it doing anything? Is it just sort of? It's just woken up, as it were, and
Basically, yeah.
okay. And if I save, if I was to do nothing and save all 3 of my AP, at what point can I use them before it comes around to my turn again?
Okay, so what you can do is, let me get to my little cheat sheet. What you can do is a thing called wait, where you can wait until later in the turn to use your AP, but you put yourself lower on the initiative rank.
He is going to wait.
Okay.
He's just going
where
to
would you
look
like
and
to
smile?
Okay. Would you like to is there any specific person you'd like to go after? Like the monster or anything like that?
I want to go sorry, excuse me. I want to go after the monster.
Okie dokie. So we will have him go after. Oops. Okay. So Zachariah stands and he smiles as the creature sits up. It is actually now the creature's turn, and the creature is what can only be described as hangry, and it is going to It's going to try and hit you, Lucius.
Okay.
So it's gonna make an attack roll of 29, which will be a successful attack. You do have AP, so if you would like to parry to try and not take any damage, otherwise it will damage you.
Of course.
Okay, so let me roll that for you. 98 is not gonna do it. There is one token left, and we are right at the end.
So let's use it then.
Okay, let's use that to reroll. For a 48, which is still unfortunately... No, wait, it does it, because I missed, you got a thing. So your target was 51. You parry this thing as it comes at you, and you see that in its hand, it has a crude sort of flint dagger that it sort of very, not without any finesse, just sort of slashes at you as it lurches. But you manage to just knock it out of the way with a torch that's in your hand. And then it's gone to a try to... It's going to lunge at you and try to take you down from its position. It's going to just throw its whole body weight at you in an attempt to knock you down. With a 98, that's going to fail, but I'm going to use those.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with a 43, let's see if that makes it. So it's coordination. It makes it. So I need you, Jordan, to succeed on a coordination test. So I shall roll that for you.
And Susie, one thing to consider is where is Jordan on that peril tracker?
He's not yet.
Yeah, I'm on unhindered.
That's a 73. So you are knocked down as this creature basically just drags itself and throws itself on you, and its whole body weight just knocks you to the ground. And that is going to be its turn. So as Lucius is pinned to the ground by this undead elven man, I think that's a good time to leave it there for this week and see what happens next week. We've done it again on a cliffhanger. Jordan getting hit.
Yeah, it's like
It's a circle of pain.
The ending.
This is great though, because it, like last time, this now gives me a whole week to think about what my next move's gonna be.
Yeah, you got plenty of time to plan it because it's your turn next, Zach. Araya.
All right. Well, the poll is still open for anyone in chat. It's !vote space, and then the numbers are 0 for Zara, 1 for Lucius, 2 for Seraphina, and 3 for Zachariah. You are voting to decide who gains corruption. We are doing super corruption for this campaign because it is a mini campaign. We have just 2 weeks left, and boy oh boy, are we in the heart of something bad. Speaking of the heart of something bad, Dark Mistress Susanna Grace. Hello.
Hi. Oh, that's the kindest thing you've ever said about me, Charlie. Thank you.
Try very hard.
This has been absolutely great. Y'all had really bringing it with the. See, I feel like you guys are way worse than anything I've thrown at you. I've just thrown and maybe a cult thing happening, but you guys are like, nope, you're going to intimidate a boy till he pees himself and then give one boy a huge dose of laudanum so he just shuts up. I mean,
It was to protect him.
Uh-huh.
Hey, you ran that boy into a tripwire.
I did.
I sent him to a warehouse where he'd be safe with all the other people.
Look, I gotta get my blood somehow. Yeah, safe. But yeah, this is great. I can't wait to see what happens next and see if you guys manage to foil or pull off the Hellfire plot by this point. I don't know who's the bad guys here. But I'm Susanna Grace, otherwise known as Susie. I'm a variety streamer who does video games, art streams, and tabletop RPGs. Next time you can catch me will be on Friday on my channel, and I'll be playing, I think, maybe Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, and dying a lot, so tune in for that. But yeah, I have a pinned tweet with my schedule on it and everything like that, so it's me.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And my sister in action, killer intro, Jess. How are you doing today, and where can we find you and all of that great stuff?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm upset that so many of my teammates just want to murder children and make me have to drug them to keep them out of harm's way. All right, that's fine. You can find me on Twitter at rightjessr or on my website, rightjess.com. You can also find me if you're in the Seattle area. I will be at Geek Girl Con all weekend. I'm doing a couple of live shows. I'll be playing D&D, a couple of panels, and all that fun stuff. Yeah, you can find all of that on Twitter and on my website.
Awesome. Do you have any favorite parts of today's episode?
Wow. It's so hard to choose. Well, probably my favorite part would be when Zara just like went all in on wanting to protect this beast because she didn't know what it was, but it had intelligent eyes, and she was like, "This is it. I'm gonna befriend this puppy, this precious murder puppy, and learn all about it." My sweet, wholesome sister,
who is definitely going to lead all of you to your demise somehow. I'm sure of it. But bringing up the rear in our demise, but never the least of us. Jay, how are you doing today, friend?
Hi, that was too much fun again. I'm enjoying playing Zachariah far too much because he is just a complete asshole, or maybe he isn't. We'll find out, I guess. I'm Jay Britton, voice actor and now Twitch streamer, which I'm finding far too enjoyable. I will be, in theory, as long as this flu disappears, doing a 12-hour stream on my channel, Jay Britton, this Saturday, taking in some Jedi Fallen Order when we launch my all-new shiny channel and whatnot, if I'm not dead by then. But that's me. You can find me on Twitter as well, at VoiceJBritton. And my favorite moment tonight was quite simply Lucius doing the creepiest Someone in chat said, like, that's the shh of a child murderer. That's exactly what it is. But I'm kind of liking that we have this sort of weird stalemate / could almost be friends if one of us wasn't light and one of us wasn't dark thing. Like, we were both going after the pup, so that was quite fun. Yeah, this is wonderful. I'm loving this world, and these characters are.
So you're saying that one of us is light and one of us is dark?
That's it. Maybe.
Well, I'm obviously the light one.
So, Zachariah, I just want light and food, maybe.
The lightest of the goths on Twitter, the brightest of the players on screen, the wonderful and the hottest of singles, Jordan. Hi.
Hi. You can find me at Hottest Singles, which is not as weird as it sounds on Twitter. I also usually am writing or doing design, and I have a t-shirt company. It's voidmerch.net, and you can find all my things at jordanshively.com. And my favorite moment was also when Zara was doing the "run, puppy, run," like the "just go, just go." That was my favorite part.
You know, that ugly spittle, gunky-eyed.
It's like the old Yellow moments, like no.
Not to mention the nose just gushing with blood.
Blood, yeah.
Awesome. Please do go and check out Jordan's Void merch. You just released a new t-shirt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did I see
release
that?
T-shirts often, yes.
Do. What did this one say? I felt like it was poignant to this campaign when I remember reading it.
Oh, there's a couple. We did one that I retweeted that was "choke them on the ashes of the dreams they burned." That might be the one. Yeah.
Oh yeah! So go and check those out. Those are awesome. That's Void merch. And go and check out everything that Hottest Singles is tweeting. It's a highlight of my day, seeing the various things that Jordan comes up with. Always creative, always interesting. And I am Encounter Roleplay. That's my outro. I'm done. No, we have so much going on here on the channel right now. As I mentioned in the tunnel earlier, we have monthly meat grinder at the end of the month being GM'd by the wonderful Susanna Grace, our Dark Mistress. It is 5e meets Takeshi's Castle, meets Crystal Maze, all of those kind of gauntlet puzzle game shows. It's going to be huge. We're raising money for suicide prevention this month. It's a big charity stream. It's from 3 till 7 Eastern on November 30th, and you can sign up to play over on our Discord. Let me go and put that in chat so you can go and click through. It's on the Meat Grinder channel. All you need to do to sign up is post a PDF or a link to D&D Beyond, something like that, with your character in. And on the 22nd, we close entries, submissions, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to pick the cast and we will get it all organized for the 30th. There is also a casting call channel where I am currently looking for players for my Game of Thrones campaign beginning in January of 2020. More details for that over in that channel. So yeah, go check out our Discord. Everything is pinned, so it's nice and easy to find the information. Our mods are incredible. If you have any questions, you can also chat about the show over there. I think I made a Hellfire plot channel. If not, I made a Zweihander plot channel. So jump in there, let us know your favorite part of today. And if you're on YouTube, leave us a like, leave us a comment. I love seeing those things come up and it really does help us. And I think that is everything. If you want to join us live, we are here 2 p.m. Eastern on a Wednesday. That's 7 p.m. if you are in the UK. And please extrapolate your own time zones from there because I get very confused when I start going any further than that. Much love to this cast. I hope that everyone feels better soon. And to you watching, thank you so much for your support. I hope you enjoyed the Wild Magic Surge. We will see you tomorrow for Unhallowed Metropolis, 4 p.m. Eastern with the wonderful Hollowtail and the crew. So until then, try not to roll too many net ones because we want to be there laughing when you do. Or celebrating in the case of Zweihander because a net 1 is as good as it gets. And that's how I think about encounter roleplay. Either the worst or the best. So, good night, everyone. We'll see you soon.